Did you ever meet Steve Jobs?
No, I never met Steve Jobs. I spoke to him on the phone 3 times. He called me once just to tell me that he liked something that I had written. He called me the second time to invite me up to tour Pixar. He wanted me to write a Pixar film. And I said, I love Pixar movies, but I don't think I can make an inanimate object talk. And he said, as soon as you make it talk, it won't be inanimate. And I thought, I'm not getting into an argument with Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And then the third time was to just to ask for some help on the Stanford commencement address. That
he asked you for help. That's a very famous, iconic speech.
It is. And it's a great speech. I have nothing to do with its greatness. I fixed some typos that he had.
Right. Did you get a sense of who he was? I mean, I will say this. Steve Wozniak has said that this film really gets Steve Jobs right.
Yeah, that's a great thing to hear from Woz. I got a sense from who he was by talking to dozens and dozens of people who knew him very well and loved him very much, from Woz to his eldest daughter, Lisa.
Who didn't talk before.
Lisa, listen, this movie is based on the biography, the authorized biography by Walter Isaacson.
Right, I read that book, fantastic book.
It is a fantastic book. But Lisa was unwilling to speak to Walter because her father was alive at the time, and she was worried about alienating her father, her mother, her stepmother, perhaps all three. Lisa is a wonderful woman now. You guys have the same alma mater. She's a terrific essayist, and she was willing to talk to me, and that was really my way into the movie.
And so this gave you an incredible insight into him. And what's interesting about this movie, and I'll make this point now, it is not it's not a biopic in the sense that it doesn't start in the 1950s and then we watch him grow older.
It's not a cradle-to-grave structure where you get the guy's greatest hits along the way, and then he coughs, goes to the doctor, and dies.
Right.
The entire movie is, I don't mean to be glib about a man's death, but that is the structure of a biopic.
Right.
This isn't one. The entire movie is 3 scenes that each take place in real time. Real time, of course, is when 30 minutes for you in the audience is the same as 30 minutes for a character on the screen. And they each take place backstage in the moments before one of his product launches.
Yes, there's 3 different product launches. They all have 3 very different kinds of outcomes, and you see him backstage getting ready each time and wrestling with not just the business side, but the emotional, what he's going through.
A lot of personal points of friction, and that's hopefully how we get to know him better. It's not really for me to say as the writer, but I think it's a very entertaining ride.